Space Coconut.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about that Mori stuff, we're going to talk about the patch stuff, and we're going to talk about the behavior's apology, and we're going to talk about why people are starting to care less and less. Before I get into it, do the things. I don't have a script, so I'm not going to read it out. You guys know what to do if you feel like it. So before we get into like just the rant side of this, because you know I don't have a script, you know that's what ends up happening. The Mori change, it's not a big deal. It's about as big of a deal as the Ruin change was. It was a big deal for some people, and for other people who rarely used the perk, and in this case the Moris, it's not that big of a deal. The only thing it changes and the only thing it highlights is just the devs' laziness. Adding another hook requirement to the Mori is dumb, right? It fixes the problem kind of, but you can still tunnel to your heart's content and get that daily if you have it, which is what you're watching in the background here. I have a Mori daily with the Demogorgon. So what better time to test the tunneling theory than to do it with demo? Anyway, it doesn't solve the problem, and it adds an unnecessary cost to something that probably should just be base kit at this point. If a survivor is on their last hook and they're going to die on the hook anyway, why not just allow the Mori? The Mori at this point costs more time to the killer, which is very precious, than hooking a survivor. It takes much more time to Mori a survivor than to hook them. So why not just make the Mori's base kit in this case? When the survivor's on their last hook, let the killer have the option to Mori them. At this point, it's just lazy. It's unnecessary. It's just, a thing that the devs refuse to let go when, just common sense will say, you know what? We've nerfed the Moris into near uselessness. Killers can only use it at the end when the survivor's going to be out of the match anyway. Then just let the killer do it if they feel like it, So that's how my thoughts on it. It's not that big of a deal. Barely anybody really used them on a regular basis. Some people would use them if they saw a Swift or keys or things like that. They're going to have a harder time with it, but it's still possible to tunnel a survivor out of the game. It's not a big deal. But now, more than ever, the devs highlight their laziness, and they should just make the Mori's base kit in its current state. Anyway, so the devs apologized. It was stupid. Terrico did a really, really good video talking about their apology, and he brought up a really good point about how the devs proved that they don't have a Q&A system in place, and that the players are the Q&A team, the QA team, however you want to say that. And I kind of had this theory back when they were talking about Pyramid Head and his tweak. Do you remember that group of people that they said they had who came together and they had this process to talk about the killers and how they would rework the killers and tweak the killers? Do you remember that? Do you remember that announcement? I forget exactly what they said, but in the end, what they did with the Pyramid Head was exactly what the community had been calling for. We don't know who's in this committee for this, killer review or whatever, but what if they don't actually have a committee and they just read the forums and they take the main arguments for the killers and they put those into it? I don't know. You don't know. It's kind of like they can say they have a committee and then just read the forums and then listen to the community and make the changes, because the changes that went into Pyramid Head, if I'm right, were just ones that had been submitted by the community anyway. So Terrico's video, while kind of tinfoil hat when it comes to no QA, makes a lot of sense, and there's some other evidence that can be tied to it. So who knows, they may not actually have a QA team. As for all of the other PA speak they had, all of the excuses they gave and all the other stuff, we don't know for sure. We don't know what their internal process is. We don't know why, like he says, they give themselves a 5-day limit. We don't know why. Well, we know exactly why they didn't delay the patch, because holiday season, right? But that just highlights the fact that they love money more than their community. I mean, there's no way around that. They released it so they could sell it and fix it later, instead of holding it back and saying, you know what, community, this thing isn't ready. It's not good enough for you yet. We're going to fix it until it's good enough for you, and then you can give us money for it. But whatever, devs. Right now, the Steam charts say that we have like the average 35,000 players over a 30-day period, which, you know, that's about where it's been over the past year or so. It's around 35-ish people, fluctuating up and down. But the question we need to ask ourselves is that because players are logging in to get the login rewards and then not playing? Or are they coming in, playing, and then leaving, and that there are so many people just not playing very many matches that's why so many survivors are experiencing some extensive queue times? I have no idea. I don't know what that looks like, right? We don't know what regions, what times, and all of that stuff. It's all anecdotal. But I mean, people are going to point to the numbers and say, see, people are playing Dead by Daylight, blah, 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 it's doing fine. But yeah, I mean, people are coming in, getting their points, getting their stuff, playing a single match, and then giving up because they get frustrated and they're going to play something else. I mean, I did a stream today where I really wanted to talk about the problems and, you know, have a good show for people in the stream, but I wasn't feeling it, man. I mean, I played a demo match, I played Wraith, which was great, and then some Leatherface and some Hag, and then I was done. You know, everything was the same. It's not fun anymore. So, I don't know. Once Cyberpunk 2077 or other games come out, it's going to highlight the tricks that Dead by Daylight is using to try and get people to play their game. And instead of trying to make a game that people want to play, they're creating gimmicks to try and bring people in to get those gimmicks instead of wanting to come in and play the game. So all the streamers can talk about how great the game is and how wonderful it is and all of this stuff. They can say that until they're blue in the face. The fact of the matter is, we don't know how many people are staying on for an extended period of time. But, you know, it's none of our business. What matters is how we feel, how you feel, how I feel about playing the game. And you know what? I am so excited to be playing something else for a little bit. Cyberpunk 2077 should be out this afternoon, and you bet your ass I'm playing that for the rest of the week. So we'll see how that goes. If you're going to play Cyberpunk 2077 or anything else, definitely let me know what you think about that in the comments. Tell me what kind of character you're going to do. I'll be describing my character in a future video for Cyberpunk and explain kind of the route that I want to take with it. I'll give you a little hint though. I want to be the most evil piece of garbage V that I can be. So look forward to that. I know I didn't really make a whole lot of sense in this video, and I was kind of all over the place and just rehashing what other people have said about the changes and the statements and all of that stuff, but I think many people have gotten to the point where we are all like, I don't care anymore. And that's when you know a relationship is over. It's not love. You know, you have a relationship that's deep-seated in love and you're passionate about something, and then it turns sour and there's a lot of hate there, right? Hate doesn't kill a relationship. Apathy does. And as time goes on, people are caring less and less. And no matter what shiny stuff behavior decides to put on that login screen, it's not going to matter if people don't enjoy playing the game. Like the video if you like the video, and dislike the video if you think the Mori change really did solve the tunneling problem. Until next time, I'll see you in Night City.